In today's Indomitus conversion video, we're going to have a chat about Necron warriors and magnetising. It's coming right up.
Necrons!
Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. And if you're new to the channel and you want to learn about Necrons and more, then please subscribe and hit the bell button to turn on all notifications so you don't miss an upload. Okay, so in today's Indomitus conversion video, it's time for the warriors. However, today's video will be slightly different than usual, and you'll see why in a second. However, I want to cover each and every unit in the Indomitus box set. This is a whole series of videos on all of the units. Like I said, today it's the Necron warrior. Okay, so let's start off with my plan. So I'm going to build my warriors from the Indomitus box set with the Gauss Reaper. Now the reason for that is I have over 100 warriors with Gauss Flayers, so I just don't need the Reaper option. I mean, I don't need the Flayer option. Now this doesn't mean that the Gauss Reaper is the weapon of choice. Like I said, it just means that I've got enough flayers already, so I'm going to build these as Reapers. And the fact that these miniatures look a little bit more zombified and broken compared to the Flayer models, I think it's going to work in my favour, because I'm viewing this unit as a separate unit to the warriors with the flayers. This unit's been in battle more. They've had a harder time reanimating, and that's why they look like they do. They're close quarter weapons. The hell is that? God, so many stupid motorbikes. However, it was always my intention to do a magnetising tutorial. I was going to build all of my miniatures apart from a couple and then magnetise them and make a video on that. And that's actually what this video here is supposed to be about. But the truth is, and I like to be truthful on this channel, I honestly don't think it's actually worth magnetising these miniatures. I don't want to make a magnetising tutorial when I feel it's not worth it. It's not impossible to magnetise these miniatures, but I must admit it's very difficult, and it would involve 1mm magnets, very small magnets. I just don't think it's worth the investment of time to actually magnetise these miniatures. I would recommend you actually just buy another set of miniatures and glue the arms on. These particular miniatures, the push fit ones, well, they're going quite cheap on eBay, so you could easily just buy them, or you could just buy some of the older warriors if you wanted the flayers, because there's a lot of those going around second hand as well. So honestly, I just don't think it's worth the effort, and I didn't want to make a video saying this is how you do it if I don't think you should be doing it. The other thing is that you've got a lot of Necron warriors, so you're going to end up with a lot of arms. That's a lot of extra painting on those gun options as well, and also there's more chance of you losing some of those bits, which of course you wouldn't want to do. Now I have heard of somebody just pushing the arms into place, which I couldn't quite see how successful that would be, because well, it didn't seem very secure, and also I think you'd probably end up just breaking some of the plastic, because the plastic, to be honest, isn't actually that strong. It doesn't seem quite as strong as the normal plastic that we get, or at least that's what I experienced. I had quite a few warriors that snapped at this joint just whilst cleaning the mould lines off. So my advice is don't magnetise them, which, coming from me who loves to magnetise stuff, get the best value for money from my models, well, that means something, because if I say that it's probably worth just buying some extra models and gluing them with the different gun options, then I think that's probably the best option. But I would like to know what you think. Let me know in the comments box below. Now on to conversions. Now once again, there's a lot of warriors, and I haven't actually converted these guys very heavily. I've changed the heads up so each model has a different head, and I've also taken some of the little wires off some of the battle damage. Actually, I added some battle damage as well, so each model has different battle damage and a different head. Now if you want to take your conversions a little bit further, I am going to talk more about that when we go table down. I also have other things that I want to talk about regarding these warriors. So I think it's time to go table down. So it's time to go table down and have a look. Okay, so here are my two sets of Necron warriors, all built. 40 warriors in total. That's 2 units of 20 or 4 units of 10. I want to talk more about that in a second. But first of all, yeah, about the conversion. So I haven't really converted them much, just a head swap and a bit of changing on some of the wires and the damage that's on there. However, if you did want to convert these a little bit more than I have done, then I think the best way to do that, like we have on most of the Indomitus Necrons, is to cut the body at the waist, pin it, and then enabling you to rotate the body. That will help with the pose quite a bit if you wanted to go that far. As I said, personally, I just don't think it's worth it. For me, the key thing is distinguishing the units from each other, especially when you're playing a game. It can be very useful to easily see the difference. So what I'm going to do, which is the same as I did on my previous Flayer warriors, is I'm going to paint them different. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to paint them a totally different colour because, well, I like my Necrons to be all the same colour, which is basically silver with green. However, there are some things that you can do, very subtle things, which will help you distinguish the different units. So what I do is on the front of the guns, you've got these little wires coming down at the bottom. And I use that as wire to distinguish the different units. So I'll have one wire painted silver, and then in another unit I'll have it painted, say, dark green, and then in another unit I might paint it light green, and that would distinguish the units. And I'll actually paint all 20 like that, so 20 with a silver wire, 20 with a green one. And then I'll split the 20-man unit down by changing what's on the base. So I might have 10 warriors with nothing on their base, just sand, and then in the same unit have 10 warriors with rocks on their base. So I'll have a unit of 20 distinguishable from the little wire on the front, but I can also split that unit up into 2 units of 10, allowing me to basically have options. I just don't think it's worth putting too much effort into changing these that much personally, because, well, to be fair, it took me a long time just to build these, scrape all the mould lines off, and I'm also trying to get these painted along with all the other Indomitus models before the codex comes out, so I don't want to spend too much time on these guys. And when you see them all together like that, just as a blob of warriors, any conversions really won't make too much difference. It's going to just look like a blob of warriors. And to be fair, Games Workshop have done a very good job of making these push-fit miniatures look pretty different from each other, even when you've got 40 of them on the table. Now, of course, I've already built and converted pretty much all of the other units within the Indomitus box set. Scarabs still to come, but here is the playlist of the rest of the conversions that I've done for you to watch next. Beam me up!